Hello, YouTubers. How are you today? I hope you're all doing well, and a special hello goes out to the members of Bennett Automotive Diagnostics. As most of you can see if you've been following the channel a little while, I've started a new series, and it's called Lock Picking for Beginners. Now, in this series, we're going to be going over, or if you're interested, you're going to be following me as I start my journey down a new skill path. And I see, and I've enjoyed it so much for the first month that I've been involved in this, or 6 weeks that I've been involved, and I've started making some purchases for the necessary tools that are needed to participate in this particular sport and hobby. And fortunately for me, as being a maintenance technician and a fabricator through the years, doing several different things and mastering quite a few of them, I have gained some skills and tools and equipment and know-how that goes right up the alley for this kind of work. This is some of the tiniest work that I've done other than working with computers and cell phones and that type of thing. So I've learned to have some finesse with working with things that are very sensitive to over tightening and pressure, and they're small, but it's just interesting because these locks are they can get so complicated, and they're just a simple but really terrific and brilliant ideas, the way a lock is made. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy the series as we go through it. Now today, this is the second installment of the introduction, more or less. I'm going to call it Introduction 2. Because what I'm doing is I'm going to go over some tools that I have bought. Now what I have in the camera screen right now is the first basic set of picking tools that I bought, and some keys. They're skeleton keys, they're jiggler keys as they're called, and then a set of skeleton keys. And so some lock pick. Listen, I'm not a lock picker. I'm a mechanic, electronic technician, but I have the common sense to watch the ones that I've been watching and paying a lot of attention to. I'm not going to mention their names right now, but they're very skilled, very intelligent. Most of the people that you will see are creating YouTubes, what I've seen, most of them dealing with these kind of hobbies, these kind of things. They're educated. They're very intelligent people, and so I'm glad to be. I'm not calling myself one, but I've been around a while. I'm skilled. I can hear some information and know whether it makes sense to me or not. And so I've taken the advice of some people and invested in the too. Now, what the approach that I am taking to this and this lock picking hobby is that, man, this can cost a lot of money if you don't watch out. So I researched the videos for a while, the ones that I found reputable, and I saw what they were using, and I bought my first set of picking tools on Amazon because it was free delivery. They could get here in a couple of days, and I was urgent to get ready to do it. But what I have done through the past month is, through just working with these tools, I've broken two. This one I broke, that one I broke right there on the end, this one and that one. And so I can't have the benefit of using those anymore, but I am learning to use these other ones. And this city rake, this I call them the snowman rake, and this I believe this is a pagoda, and I don't know what that one is. And then this is called the half diamond. And two of these came in the kit. You'll find out in the kits a lot of times in the cheaper ones, you're going to get a lot of repetitive picks in a 14, 15. This was a 14, 15 piece set, and it included a couple of these two torque wrenches and this one here for working on when you have a wafer lock that needs to have a different hold for it. Now, what I have discovered is that through my experience, that I can make a lot of my own tools. This is a key that I had laying around that I am going to use to just to reset, rekey some things. I've already rekeyed a couple of locks, and so this is fun for that. Or I might make a bump key out of it. And then I made my own follower. I had a selfie stick that I never used, telescoping one. So I took this particular size and cut it off, brushed up the ends, and I've rebuilt a couple of tumbler locks with this already, quick set locks, pushing the cylinder in and out. It works just fine, but if you're not careful, the spring and the pin can pop in here, and then it'll get in here, and you got to start over. But anyway, I didn't have a pinning tray. I've got some coming, so I went ahead and took a piece of corrugated cardboard and pulled it in two and cleaned it up, and I'm using that for a pinning tray right now, and it works just fine. And when I first got started, I didn't have any tweezers, so I got to hold this against the background so we can see it. I went ahead and made my own, and for now, the first couple of locks, I tell you, I tried using just regular tweezers at first, and it was impossible. But these worked pretty good the first time, so if I ever lose my other ones, I'll make sure I'll have these, and they really did work great. But I didn't want to. I'm worried about the aesthetics of my channel, and I want to make sure I stay in line with things. So I went ahead and purchased these self-locking tweezers. They you don't have to keep a control on them, because believe me, if you're not concentrating, as an old man, I start to forget that I got something in my hand, and I'll just drop the pin with these other tweezers. But with this one, I already rebuilt the lock with it. It just made all the difference in the world. As tools, the right tool always does make all the difference in the world, doesn't it? And with another set, I had the locks came free with this set. This lock came free with it, and then with another set, I got this one came with a set. Then I shouldn't say free. And this one here came with that set, and this lock up here came with the set too, and that's what appealed to me. It wasn't so much the is this set right here. It wasn't so much the picks in this set that appealed to me as it was the those locks and the tensioners. But it's got some good ones on these ones right here. I've used these to open all my file cabinets, wafer locks, and all kinds of things with those. A lot of fun with those. These over here, they're hooks, and I haven't gone experienced enough yet to use these hooks, but I can't show you right now. I don't know if you can see it, but they got a lot of burrs, this stuff that they put on there that to preserve it, keep it from rusting. That has kind of built up on there, and so I'll get around these. These heads on these, they're not quite as prominent as the good ones. They're kind of rolled over, and you can just see that the quality of these picks doesn't even match up to the quality of these in my opinion. These are actually very good hardened steel, good spring steel. A couple of the handles have tried to loosen up on me in just this short period of time. So what, being, like I said, as I'm a mechanic, experienced dealing with this kind of thing before, I just went ahead and I tapped this washer down, and it just tightened up the whole thing. And I did the same thing on the top up there. You can see the difference in the one beside it, right there beside it, and the one that I have tapped down. Now this you don't want to tap that down too far, because you make that too thin, it'll just peel right off, that brass will, if you just keep pounding on that little rivet. It's not really a rivet, it's an insert that just gets pressed, and so that's the good way to make them tighten up. But you got to be careful. You don't want to smack that with a heavy hammer. I drove that brass down with a brass hammer, for this type of delicate work. And so then these tension torque bars over here came with the two sets. Then I got this big one here for working on the car door locks and such, but I haven't used it yet. I'm staying away from my car doors until I get a little more experience. I don't want to jam up one of my good car door locks, so I'm going to leave that alone for now. But anyway, that was a starter kit for working over here. And then of course I had my own vise, and I brought it up, but I'm going to get one of the other ones, because this one's heavy and it's kind of clunky and dirty, and I just want something that looks more like a jeweler's vise and lock picker's vise. So I will be getting that. And then here's my GoPro setup on. I'm using my Lume Cube setup so that I can be right over the top of the lock, and then I can have my camera on the workspace. And of course I've put down a non-skid pad that keeps things from sliding around on you and getting lost. But anyway, that light gets me right above it, And the loom cube and the thing and all that, I just got that kind of, I got a magnet attached to it. This magnet comes with a hole. I actually use this magnet to reset the alarm on the tire. In tires, sometimes you can use that to reset to make the alarm stop going off. Just put the battery next to it, and that sensor will do it on all the things, and it'll usually make them stop, giving false information. But anyway, it's not about auto mechanics. Anyway, this is part of my camera, my GoPro setup. This was a Movo extension kit that I bought, and that works well with the loom cubes as far as getting in other things. And over here, I'm controlling the camera, the GoPro that I'm using in my hand, and I've got a loom cube attached to that with a pole, and I'll show that to you. But anyway, I have the camera there, and as you can see, everything that I'm doing, I'm actually watching on the phone, because the back of the camera sometimes get hard to see where you're working. Now, this is my workstation where I do my video work and all that. We're not interested in that right now, but I am going to show you some kits that I have put together that go along with that kit over there. So when I get ready to go around the house and do other things, you know, people might want me to do some in the future. We'll see. But I have gotten some picks. These are picks that I use in auto mechanics, and I'm gonna tell you, you need these kind of picks when you're working with small electronic devices and small mechanical devices. And then I have some small files that I use for thread work on strip bolts and all that, but they work just as good for keys, filing down keys, and of course, you know, I've got the metric measuring tools, because everything's gone. You just need to know metric. If you don't know the metric system, you need to learn it. I'm telling you, it's just something you need to know. And then of course, I've got a handy little tool with a long handle screwdriver for some of the stuff. There's a little magnet that's extendable. Here's a little set with screwdrivers, different sets. They're all inside there, and that you can just put in your pocket and have that along. And then here's a little pick, but it's made of plastic, because when you're dealing with you know, fine stuff, sometimes you just don't want to be going in there with metal. But if I do need to go in there, this comes from an old walnut cracker set, and this was my grandmother's walnut cracking set. Let me tell you, this pick's probably 100 years old, but it's still just as good as it was today. And it's got some braiding. What do you call it? Braiding on the side, and it makes it easier to hold and not slip out of your hand. So those are a few good little picks that go along with the other stuff. Now, I've got some different kinds of lights here, and here's a little electronic detector. I just want it along. I don't know why. You know, I'm just that way. If I come across and I see another problem, I might want to check and see if it's got any power going to it, or if it's an electric lock. You know, you want to see if you got voltage. And this one is when I'm working on air conditioners and I want to see a freon leak. It's a blue light, kind of like a black light. But that blue light, sometimes when you shine it into a lock chamber, you can see the pins glow a lot better than you can with just the regular eyes. I mean, with the regular light. So that's going to help seeing when a pin is not setting. If I got something that's just stuck up in there or all. So that's that one. Then I got a good bright flashlight that I put tape around the end so I can hold it with my teeth if my hands are tied up. And that just helps, you know, to get in there and be able to see those lock chambers and such as that. And a couple of extra batteries for that. And then I got I forget what these are called, but they're screwdrivers. They're for technical work, for in computers and all that. You want something that you can spin with your fingers but hold pressure with your palm. These little tops right here spin like ball bearings, and then you can get your thing. Like I said, you can put your finger while you're holding pressure with your thumb. I put a little grinder in my kit. This is actually the one that I use to trim my dog's toenails. You got to get, you know, think out of the box. But it's got a little stone up there on the top, and I can put different grades of sandpaper on there. Those little wheels. This is just a cover to keep from getting scratched up and scratching up other things in my bag. Okay, but anyway, I'm going to keep that handy when a file's not doing the job I want to do. And then this is going to be my bump hammer. This is a light, short-handled rubber hammer, because I don't want, you know, when I'm learning something, I don't want to take and use a heavy hammer hit a key. So I'm going to use the rubber handle, and I'm going to grip up on it and just try to learn bumping very slowly, very carefully, like I'm trying to learn the rest of this thing. Now, I'm going to carry these two scrapers. I'm going to carry these in my bag just simply for the fact that sometimes I know for a fact that I can get this behind the molding of a door face right there where I want to get into the to the bolt on a quick set, for instance. If I want to get in there and just pry that back a little bit, if it's got a molding there in my way and I don't want to do a lot of damage to it, then I can go ahead and I can slip this in because it's a little bit thicker, a little bit more firm, but it's spring steel. It would be almost impossible to break it, and then it wouldn't do a whole lot of damage. And then what I can do is I can go in with something else that I have put into the kit myself, and that's take some of this shim material. Now this is really flexible shim material. One is a little bit thinner than the other, but it's not like a Coke can. That's just too thin. But you can cut a thin slit of this, and then you can slip that in that on that bolt on that quick set lock. And I tell you, I've already popped a few locks around the house with no problem at all by just going through that. And so that's another avenue without being destructive. And then, women always keep these file sticks for doing their fingernails. Well, men too, I guess. But you can take these files, man. These little sand things. They are perfect grit for just cleaning up. Say you're making your own torque tools or something, or you got a burr on one of your shims that you want to slip in. You can just knock that burr off, even off of keys, really quickly with that, without doing damage, because the sandpaper will release if you press them too hard or if you're working with something really hard. And then I've started making my own torque tools. Here's one that I created with a twist. If you're capable of making it, then why not make it? If you got the know-how and the tools to do it. And then I just put this one here to just keep it from going in, just my own little invention, whatever. But anyway, there's my own torque tool. It works great. But I only had this one width of metal. I haven't gone out and got the metal that I want to make the 50 thousandths, the 40 thousandths, the 31 thousandths, and the 20 thousandths, 15, whatever. But I will. And then all these little things down here, I keep them separated by taking these old eye cases. I had these old eye cases just laying around the house for years. I had them in a box, and I'm thinking, I know there's going to be something I'm going to want those for. And sooner or later, I knew I would, and here we are. So I put these in one, these in one, these in one, and the other, And then this is the one that came with this little pick set over here that we looked at first. This is really good one. It's good leather. It's nice and strong. It's got a good snap on it. So this little 15-piece set down here didn't cost me but about $19.95 with from Amazon. There was no shipping. So it was a nice, cheap little set, and while I'm still learning and breaking and tearing up locks, I'm going to keep using this one and just replace. I might even buy another set. It's so cheap, so I can just keep wearing it out, because I have already studied and ordered a complete new set, and I'm getting, you can see on the paperwork, I've made some orders from Sparrow. I'm going to order some tools from Sparrow. I got the gut wrench coming, the reload kit. That's a really nice training kit for relocking, repinning locks. I got a mini pinning mats coming there. I can't wait to get those. Resin plug follower so that I can work on quick locks. They got a little star-like bolt back there that just slips right in, and you'll see in the videos coming. Might have already seen it on my first one. And then I ordered flat bars knurled. That's the torsion bars that are flat, and they're at the top of the key. So I can't wait till those get here. It's gonna make things a lot easier. There's my tweezers. I've already had those delivered. This is my skeleton key set I showed you over there. The receipt from that, or the order invoice, and then the pick set, that small one I was just talking about. That was the pick set. I got that from Amazon. I started out with Amazon. Like I said, I was in a hurry. I wanted to get the stuff here and start trying it out and see if I was going to like it, and I loved it. Addicted right off the bat. So that's why I decided to go with the Sparrow and South Ord. This is that lockpick set that I showed you that I don't use that much. This is the skeleton key set that came. And then this is the self-locking tweezers that I bought. Now I bought that from South Ord. They got here in about 7 days. No problem with the delivery. No problem with the order. No problem at all. And this is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting on a wafer lockpick set from South Ord. There's 4 in there. That's going to be a good one. And then the 14-piece lock piece set called the PX14. That was South Ord's first set. So I'm waiting on that to get here. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I won't be practicing too much with that one. I'll keep that set aside. Okay. And so that's what we're up to on what we're doing now. Let's go over a few of these things. I have a couple of old locks right here that I've been working on. That old lock I wore out. Broke a couple of picks in that one. This one I learned to open with no problem at all. And it's a really good, the cylinder in that one, I'll do a video on this one. This one has no play in it hardly at all. It took me a long time to figure out which pick to use, but when I did, it started opening up fairly quickly. And that's the part about learning. You just got to learn which picks to use, what technique. I keep some of this lock dry lubes, 3-in-1 lock dry lube, and I'm telling you, some of these, like that old one, I couldn't get it to do anything. But if it was working on you, not opening, I could open it within a couple of minutes when I first started. But when I sprayed this in there, it wouldn't open at all. But it works great in these plastic locks. These practice locks, you spray that up in there and it keeps them lubricated and keeps the pins from getting worn out from sliding the tools in there so often. And then I do keep some WD-40 around. I would never spray this in a lock. There's just some places where WD-40 don't belong, and one of them is in a place where they can gum up, or where dust can get in there and attach itself to the WD-40, and then you got more troubles than you had before you ever used it. Rust is what you want to fight with that in my mind. This is a nice little case that came with the set, the little set over here. The locks were in here and stuff like that. The name of that set is the Betis. I got it on Amazon. It's very cheap. And like I said, it was 15 pieces. Now this is that selfie stick that I cut that first piece off of, and I'll be using probably the rest of them, because that's just a collection of of tubes right there that gradually getting bigger. And then I kept the other end of it too, because that other piece was kind of like in the middle. So I saved that into this bag, and that'll be handy. I would suggest that if you're going to order stuff, keep your thing, because if it doesn't work out for you, if you don't like it, you can send that stuff back, but keep it organized. That way you know how much you're spending. And just the 6 weeks that I've been involved in this lock picking hobby now, with those orders that I'm waiting on, I have paid over $260 for just the stuff that I ordered and that you see there. That doesn't include any of this. I already own all this stuff. This is mine. I'm carry a nice strong flashlight with me that you can see. I explained that. We want to make sure you got yourself some rubber mat so that you can work on a surface just about anywhere you want to. This is a multi-tool that I had. I'm going to make sure I keep that in there, because you always need wire pliers or a knife, something like that. Just another thing. I hope this doesn't seem like I'm going crazy with this video. It's going to take forever for it to edit, but keep yourself a pen and a tablet that you can write notes down in, so that you can go back and refer to. I do that all the time on auto mechanic work. I'm always saving my notes or writing something that I can know that would be difficult if I come back to it if I don't have some notes. And this lock picking thing, there's a lot to know, so make sure you got a tablet dedicated to just lock picking. And I always keep a pen on you, for crying out loud. You're always going to need to write something down. Now, one of the last things I did, my wife had this bag that's been sitting around for years, and it's really heavy canvas, and it had these nice snap pouches on each side of it, and she just never carried it. She didn't like it. And what was the problem with it was when you wanted to get in here, they had this lining inside of a bunch of little pockets and stuff. It made it impossible to get into it. So what I did is I just cut that out of there. This zipper does, it just leads to the inside of that now. There's no pouch behind it. But boy, these little pouches on the side, they are great as far as organizers. And then the hammer, the this other stuff over here, this mat, your tablet, the sander, your knife, anything that you know that doesn't go into, that needs to be organized so you can grab and doesn't go in a little pouch or bag, you can put into the center part of this bag. And this bag, it just became, you know, a great tool bag, and just it's almost as good as well, I mean, you know, it's going to be a serviceable, but it's just almost as good as my Makita bag right here. So that's going to work out fine. And anyway, over here is an electronic table. That's just not part of this video, but I thought I'd show it since it's there. That's where I'm at on the lock picking kit. This is just strictly for the small stuff. Maybe, you know, have to run downstairs and work on a lock there, or a neighbor or something like that. This is just the beginners set right here, okay? And I think I've got just about everything I need so far, and with what I got coming in the next few weeks, it's definitely going to improve my ability to do more and get deeper and deeper involved. So this video is going out to all you guys out there that are interested in this type of thing. And if you have any old locks, or you have something that's challenging, or have any questions, of course, just leave me a message. And if you like this video and like what we're involved in, I sure would appreciate that thumbs up, and ring the bell so that when I put these videos, you'll be notified. And thank you so much for your participation in the channel, and I hope you get a lot out of this series, because I know I am. So stay safe and stay out of my house. Bye bye now.